Change. It happens every day, every moment. It's happening now. To make the best of every opportunity, we need to learn to embrace change, even when our initial feeling is uncertainty, because oftentimes change is a good thing. Good day, I am Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. Today we go on a journey to take a look at the well-needed changes coming your way, courtesy of the government in strategic priority number 1, fiscal prudence and pursuit of a credible macroeconomic program, and how one technological advancement can change the way you use your cell phone and practice farming, all at the same time in technology, advancing agriculture. Stay with me as we get going with the news.
Parents, make sure the children get immunized. Hear this! Immunization, it is a must. This is not a joke thing, this you can trust. It is required by law for entry to nursery, to daycare and to schools. Listen up, it is necessary to prevent diseases such as the measles, the poliomyelitis, the lockjaw and the whooping cough. Immunize your kids, keep them healthy, keep them strong. Prevent deadly diseases such as mumps, rubella and diphtheria. Immunize your child today. Immunization, a key to good health.
A message from the Ministry of Health and PAHO.
Good day, I'm Andrea Chisholm and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 25. Jamaica has passed its 7th straight IMF quarterly test under the Extended Fund Facility. Head of the IMF mission to Jamaica, Yankees Martin, and Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips held a press conference Wednesday afternoon to provide the update. It confirms that the country met its targets and structural benchmarks for the October to December 2014 period. The findings from the IMF staff mission to Jamaica will now have to be confirmed by the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund. We'll have more on the implications of the latest successful review in tomorrow's program. In the meantime, the Planning Institute of Jamaica PIOJ is reporting that the services industry grew by 0.7% in the October to December quarter of last year. Hotels and restaurants and the transport, storage and communication sectors were the biggest performers. However, producers of government services and electricity and water supply sectors decreased. For the goods-producing industry, all sectors except construction declined. Construction was up by 1.2%. Overall, for the October to December quarter, the Jamaican economy contracted by 0.3%, representing the second consecutive quarter of decline. The PIOJ's Director General Colin Bullock said the drought and other factors led to the decline.
Lower than anticipated alumina production due to technical challenges at one refinery, longer than anticipated closure of the Petrojam oil refinery, and slower than anticipated implementation of construction projects, both private and public.
For this quarter, however, the PIOJ is anticipating an improvement and has projected real GDP growth to be within the range of 0.5 to 1.5%. Both houses of parliament have now passed legislation to decriminalize the possession of small quantities of ganja and its use for medicinal, therapeutic, religious and scientific purposes. The Senate passed the Dangerous Drugs Amendment Act 2015 on February 6, and the House of Representatives followed suit this Tuesday.
It begins to correct decades of criminalizing tens of thousands of Jamaicans, mostly poor young black males, for possession of a spliff. This progressive legislation also begins to correct the victimization of our Rastafarian brethren, which started in colonial times and continued after independence.
It makes the possession of 2 ounces or less of ganja a non-arrestable offense that will instead result in a ticketable infraction that does not lead to a criminal record. The amendment also permits the use of ganja for religious, medicinal, scientific and therapeutic purposes, and it provides for the creation of a cannabis licensing authority to regulate the proposed hemp and medicinal ganja industry in Jamaica. The National Security Minister says the ganja reform also has crime-fighting benefits, including freeing up police resources to focus on serious criminals and removing a source of friction between police and the community who see arrests for small quantities of ganja as harassment or oppression. The Ministry of Education is taking steps to stop the practice of schools buying student athletes without due consideration for their academic development. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites updated Parliament on the issue Tuesday. He said a policy framework for the transfer of student athletes had been developed with the support of the Intersecondary Schools Sports Association, ISA.
The ministry is not against a parent wanting to place a child in a school that has a sports co-curricular program that can enhance his or her career goals. However, we are insisting that this must not be done for monetary gain and to the detriment of the child's education.
Under the new regulations, the sending and receiving schools, along with parents, must sign consent forms which have to be presented to the Ministry of Education for approval. Students' academic records will be examined to determine if they are able to cope with the curriculum of the receiving school. The Education Minister insists that the transfer of students between schools must not involve economic gain to the student, parent or guardian. And ISA will continue to impose a mandatory one-year wait period but will add the option of additional waiting periods or school bans where there are proven breaches in the transfer process. And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has congratulated Jamaicans and West Indian batsmen Chris Gayle and Marlon Samuels for their outstanding performances in the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015. Chris Gayle was the first batsman in history to score a double century in a World Cup innings, having posted 215 runs against Zimbabwe. Marlon Samuels also posted a career best of 133 runs. This led to the West Indies posting 372 for 2 to beat Zimbabwe by 73 runs through the Duckworth-Lewis method. In a joint statement, both the Prime Minister and the Minister with responsibility for sport, Natalie Nita Headley, said their extraordinary performances had helped to reignite faith in our sportsmen and women in the Caribbean. And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.
Which government organization offers you exceptional customer service? A tax office, police station, hospital, post office, health center or NIS office? Vote for your favorite public sector organization in the Public Sector Customer Service Competition. Call toll-free 1-888-991-2752. Visit cabinet.gov.jm and follow the instructions. Or drop your entry form at government agencies island-wide. Votes close April 30, 2015. Let your voice be heard.
Cost containment is one of the positive benefits of any energy efficiency program. The government is seeking to capitalize on these outputs through the implementation of efficient, less polluting and more flexible energy systems. We take a look at these systems in strategic priority number 1, fiscal prudence and pursuit of a credible macroeconomic program.
Government is working on a project to add 78 megawatts of renewable energy to the national grid and another project to produce 380 megawatts of new baseload generation capacity. The objective? Getting energy costs down and diversifying the country's energy sources to help achieve strategic priority number 1, fiscal prudence and pursuit of a credible macroeconomic program.
The government has adopted a strategy which centers on diversifying our country's energy sources. This is where renewable energy has a big role to play, and this is why the government is now taking decisive steps to utilize homogeneous resources and natural assets as alternatives to imported fuel.
And by mid-2016, Jamaica is expected to start seeing a reduction in its purchasing of oil. This will be as a result of the 78 megawatt renewable project coming on stream. The $196 million project includes the construction of 1 solar and 2 wind energy plants. With Blue Mountain Renewables in St. Elizabeth to provide 34 megawatts to the national grid, the reduction in oil importation for the country is estimated between 250,000 and 300,000 barrels per day. Additional savings is expected from expansion of the Wigton wind farm. Approximately 214 million Jamaican dollars will be saved as oil purchase will be reduced by more than 37,000 barrels per year. A similar trend is expected from the solar plant to be constructed in Clarendon as government pursues its target of producing 20% of the country's energy from renewables by 2030.
We believe that we can expand that ambition very shortly to 30%, but the initial ambition is to achieve 20%.
In the meantime, several jobs are being created, more homes and businesses are connecting to the grid, and the flow of commercial activity is increasing, all contributing to growth.
The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining is committed to creating jobs, attracting investment, and providing economic opportunities for Jamaicans.
Already 125 jobs have been activated following groundbreaking for construction of the Wigton 24-megawatt plant. Blue Mountain Renewables followed suit on February 25 and will make 215 jobs available during construction, with employment of a similar number upon completion of its project.
It makes sense to do the investment. And so, in relation to renewables, we're on a path and there's no turning back.
As it moves to create a credible macroeconomic program, government is also pushing to have new energy-efficient gas power plants built on the island. $15 million is being spent to convert the Jamaica Public Service Company's Bogue plant feedstock from automotive diesel oil to gas.
Bogue currently uses very expensive automotive diesel oil. That's what goes to the burners to drive the engines. When we did the analysis on the cost of the heavy fuel as against the cost of gas, it was a low-hanging fruit to immediately bring some benefits to the consumer. Because the conversion from fuel oil to gas made it very, very important and useful to lower the cost to the consumer.
Conversion is to be completed by the end of 2015. Alongside this, JPS is to replace 292 megawatts of obsolete equipment at its Old Harbour plant by constructing a 190 megawatt gas turbine cogeneration plant at the same location.
These are very critical because we have 292 megawatts of obsolete capacity which will begin to drop out of the grid in a couple of years, by 2017, and we have no plan to not achieve our objective, because otherwise we think it could be quite devastating for the economy.
And a second gas turbine cogeneration plant is to be constructed, this time by Alpart, to provide an additional 140 megawatts to the grid. The agreed power tariff by Alpart is for not more than 12.99 US cents per kilowatt hour, while JPS has agreed to 12.89 US cents per kilowatt hour.
We are still,
the final price to the consumer.
We are still aiming on that benchmark, 30% reduction, and we're expecting that instead of the 40 cents, US 40 cents that it was costing, it will be more down in the range of somewhere between 26 to 27 cents. That's what we are expecting, and these prices will achieve that. That's our target for 2018.
The combined 330 megawatts to the national grid by JPSCO and Alpart is part of the 380 megawatt new baseload electricity supply for the country, which was approved by Cabinet in January. Work is scheduled to begin this year. The project's mandate is to improve efficiency of power plants with new equipment and reduce the cost of fuel by using gas instead of heavy fuel oil. The project will also facilitate business operation, as Alpart will use steam from its cogeneration plant to facilitate bauxite production. So the government is actively pursuing programs to reduce energy costs in Jamaica. The end result is to boost production, reduce the cost of products on the market, and drive economic growth.
With the success achieved through the reduction of energy costs, the government is making it easier to do business in Jamaica. This is one of the many objectives of the Vision 2030 National Development Plan. We now take a look at the scope of the plan.
Sun, sea and sand, lustrous hillsides with natural elements at play, and an infectious culture. But Jamaica's potential far exceeds the obvious. By 2030, the country is expected to become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
Well, it's all about Jamaica and our vision today.
Vision 2030 Jamaica is the country's first long-term national development plan aimed at achieving developed country status by the year 2030. The plan is centered on a number of guiding principles: transparency and accountability, transformational leadership, equity, sustainable urban and rural development, sustainability, social cohesion, and partnership. The development process for Vision 2030 Jamaica began in 2006 with the establishment of a number of task forces drawn from different sectors of society.
And then those task forces met for a period of about 2 years over the time from 2007-2008 to develop sector plans which would guide the development of each sector through 2030.
Then in 2009, all ideas were merged into a comprehensive 376-page document, which was tabled in Parliament during the budget debate, and later in 2010, a popular or more reader-friendly version was launched. Vision 2030 Jamaica is being monitored and evaluated by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ.
Our role is to coordinate the whole process, to support the process through provision of technical and logistical support, to monitor progress and report on progress, and recommend corrective actions to ensure that we stay on track.
Ministries, departments, and agencies of government, the private sector, civil society, and other stakeholders will implement aspects of the plan. The programs and projects from Jamaica's international development partners are also aligned to Vision 2030 Jamaica. Now, Vision 2030 Jamaica has 4 main goals. Goal 1.
Jamaicans are empowered to achieve their fullest potential.
Under this goal, the aim is to have a healthy population with access to world-class education and training, helping those Jamaicans in need and building our future on positive core values and strong families. We will preserve, protect, and promote our rich culture. Brand Jamaica has to be respected while promoting the importance of sports in national development.
Goal 2. The Jamaican society is secure, cohesive, and just.
All Jamaicans should feel secure, whether at home, work, school, or as they go about their daily business. Crime and violence must be reduced, and the justice system should be fair, efficient, and effective, respecting the rights of all. This means also that each Jamaican should have a say in how the country is governed, and that there is accountability and transparency in government.
Goal 3. Jamaica's economy is prosperous.
A prosperous economy provides the foundation and resources for building a better society. Under this goal, we will have a stable macroeconomy, managing our public debt, simplifying our tax system, ensuring that our financial system is sound, a business-friendly environment, stimulating growth of large and small businesses, diversifying our energy supply, and improving our infrastructure and existing technology. And we will develop world-class products and companies in agriculture, mining, quarrying, manufacturing, construction, tourism, and our service industries.
And Goal 4, Jamaica has a healthy natural environment.
Jamaica's natural resources, the endowments of the land, water, beaches, forests, and wetlands have to be protected for Vision 2030 Jamaica to be a reality. On top of that, the country has to reduce the risks and impact of natural hazards while taking steps to limit and adapt to the effects of climate change. And an effective system of planning for urban and rural development will be put in place. The country has recorded progress in a number of areas.
We have seen progress in terms of the establishment of some new institutions to support the development of education. We've seen progress in areas that expand our road and highway network.
Jamaica has also improved its business environment. Reform has begun in the security and justice sectors, and there has been a reduction in major crimes. Progress has also been made in developing several major projects for climate change adaptation and in increasing the level of renewable energy sources.
Very importantly, in 2011, we've seen a return to positive economic growth. So this, we hope, will be a trend that will continue and bring us back on track in that area.
With the help of organizations such as the Social Development Commission, SDC, and the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, the PIOJ is educating persons at the community level about how they can contribute to Vision 2030 Jamaica. One such method is the SDC National 2020 Cricket Competition.
We are using this channel to show persons the connection between, say, sports and national development. Why is it important? What can sports do?
Through the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, a community renewal program is also underway to address development in volatile and vulnerable areas. Vision 2030 Jamaica is for everyone. Learn about the plan, share the information with your colleagues, families and friends, and apply the information as you make plans for the future. If we all pull together, we can make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families and do business. For more information, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or the Jamaica Information Service. Visit the Vision 2030 Jamaica Facebook page or www.vision2030.gov.jm.
We're going to show the world we are more than see and stand. Through Vision 2030 Jamaica plan.
Oh, now I understand.
What is your definition of success? Do you subscribe to the standard dictionary definition that pushes material or monetary wealth? Let's look at an alternative as shared by John Wooden. He says peace of mind attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you are capable. To attain this type of success, you should focus on the things which are under your control, things such as faith and patience. If you want things to happen, you must practice patience. Not everything you desire to change or achieve will happen when you expect. So be patient and enjoy the journey that will take you towards your heart's desire. You must also believe and practice faith, not just give it lip service. Believe that things will work out as they should, providing you do what you should. So when you sit back and think about the things you would like to achieve, be prepared to give it your best. You are as successful as you want to be.
Property owners, pay your 2014-2015 property taxes by February 28 to avoid late fees. Payments after February 28 will attract a 10% penalty. Take advantage of the extended deadline to pay your property taxes. Make payments at any tax office island-wide or via the website jamaicatax.gov.jm. For more information, call 1-888-TAX-HELP. That's 1-888-829-4357.
In our next feature, we take a look at an innovator who, through patience, belief, and of course, lots of training and hard work, will be making a difference in how farming is practiced.
Technology has afforded us the opportunity of being in control without having direct physical contact with objects or certain mechanics, thus creating an ease and relaxed way of doing things. Now, this remote operating technology has been added to farming at the local level. In a technology-driven world, persons are finding more innovative ways to improve and simplify how we do things, as well as creating added benefits and increased profits for businesses. Such was the intention of engineering student at the University of the West Indies, UN Pitta, when he designed and created this fully automated hydroponic greenhouse system. Renewable energy driven, the system is programmed to be operated by the use of a smartphone or the internet, facilitating a more efficient and effective approach to farming.
You don't have to be at the plants every day, right? At the greenhouse every day, because you have access to all information that you normally would go there to check for.
Information such as the nutrient levels, water, temperature and humidity, which in a typical greenhouse setting would require manual observation and control. But Pitta's automated system controls all that activity, allowing farmers to maintain quality crops from just about anywhere in the world.
We control the nutrient concentration, such as your N, your nitrate, the phosphate and your potash, as well as pH. and dissolve oxygen. We have a set limit that those parameters are supposed to be at. So once it exceeds those parameters that we set, you will automatically updated by your cell phone to let you know that something is wrong in your greenhouse, right? Our nutrient is off. We can actually monitor this system remotely via cell phone or over the internet.
The intelligent controlling is performed by what's called a programmable logic controller (PLC) that's microcontroller based. The PLC is used to activate the input and output processes of the greenhouse hydroponic system. Head of UA's Engineering Department and UN Supervisor Dr. Paul Aking explains.
Everything that feeds the nutrients and the sensors and the valves and everything that requires some on-off or some amount of control, all of that is computerized, and it goes into the computer and it stores as special signals, and the commands are stored as special signals. What we do now, we send those signals via the internet, via the SMS, via something like your texting, and then we can see what it is, and we can send both ways. It's bidirectional.
The application won first place for the open category in the 2013 Ministers' Innovation Award developed by the Science and Technology Ministry.
It's an ICT control, meaning that the Internet Protocol login, monitoring and control system of an agricultural process that everyone knows about. No one was aware that you could control these things so remotely, and it really blew the judges away.
Judges were also impressed by the system's ability to efficiently produce its own supply of energy while providing a sustainable means for food security and food production.
This project is about growing plants in a solution environment. It's about controlling such growth and ensuring that you can do that control remotely, or you control and monitor remotely.
Greenhouse farming is known for generating very high crop yield and high quality produce when compared to open-air farming. Interests have already been pouring in from both the private and public sector, including the Ministry of Agriculture, about the microcontroller-based automated hydroponic greenhouse system, and the team intends to make this a true demonstration that the technology works.
The next stage is we're going to go to a functional, fully demonstratable functional prototype that anyone in the country can come and look at. You'll see the physical plants growing. You'll get a measure of the yield of the plants. We want to take it as far as it can go. So we want to demonstrate that the technology works.
Ultimately, this automated system is intended to replace the hydroponic technology being used today and make some farming methods less labor-intensive.
We want to engage in projects that are useful, that are nation-building, that are solving problems in the nation, not just some on-the-shelf stuff. So hydroponic and sustainable agriculture is a useful, and we add the electronics and the engineering to it, modernize it, and here we have a product.
This level of commitment to nation building justifies the government's unending drive to promote technology as a vehicle to propel new businesses and to improve existing ones.
We have opportunities, and it is these areas that we have identified that we have advantages that we need to exploit, and we are going to do it.
As we close the pages of the magazine, remember to stay in touch through our Twitter and Facebook pages, YouTube channel and website at jis.gov.jm. You can also download the JIS News app from the Google Play Store. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of the dedicated and hard-working production team here at the JIS, stay inspired and motivated. And remember to use change as a springboard to your success.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.